Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Hi, we've been working with cancer patients for many years, and in 1980 one such patient came to us and said, I want to stay at home to die, with my family caring for me, my friends around, and that started the Dying at Home program.
As a medical doctor, I must tell you that the Dying at Home program is there to let you know you can take your loved one home from hospital. It's not only possible, but it's a very good idea.
There are significant benefits which are only available at home, like your loved one is not going to be lonely or fearful and will be most comfortable. And if there's pain, you'll be able to relieve it straight away.
Home is special. It's where we belong, especially when we're sick and the doctors can no longer cure us. In our long experience, the best carers are family. And this website shows you a simple step-by-step program on how to do this special work. Great booklets to download and the interview that follows that I think you'll find inspiring.
Hello, my name is Darlene Zangara. I would like to tell you my story. It's a story about my fathers. It is actually about my stepfather, Bob, and my biological father, Daniel. The stories are about the two of them, both dying at home. When I learned about each of their illnesses, the emotions, the shock, the anger, and the grief literally overwhelmed me. It just took over how I felt. It really interfered with how I thought, what I would do, how I would do things, and when I would do them. All of these different questions kept running around in my head. But there was something about getting this information that made me realize and look back upon my childhood. When I was growing up, I remember hearing stories about various deaf individuals and their experiences with dying. Many of them died in the hospital, some alone, some without knowing or had any understanding of what was happening to them. This was due to barriers in communication. Many of them didn't even know they had choices. You can see a lot of fear and anxiety. I didn't want to see that happen to my family. My family had to come together to focus on my stepfather and my father, to figure out what they each needed, what they each wanted, and how to help them get through the process of dying. How to empower them so they can make those final decisions about different things themselves. We needed to support them as a family. You see, my family is all deaf. We're extremely close-knit, strongly influenced by culture with a unique common bond. But we also communicate through the use of American Sign Language, ASL. So communicating with other deaf people is easy. For their entire lives, growing up in the mainstream, it was always about fighting and advocating for access due to barriers of communication and lack of understanding. If we wanted to get services, we had to fight for access. If we didn't understand, we had to fight for an interpreter. All throughout our lives, it's about fighting and advocating for access. Knowing that both of them would soon die, the idea of them having to fight to understand and to get that communication was unthinkable. Home is a safe haven. Home is where we have our peace and comfort, where there's ease of communication. There is familiarity, how we do things that make us feel safe. We touch a lot, we hug, we tap to get one's attention, and touch for comfort. So in a hospital, in that sterile environment, that unknown touch leads to confusion. I wanted to eliminate that confusion and fear. We needed that total comfort and ease of interaction surrounded by family. You know how home has that familiar sense, the smell, the feel, touch, and tastes. We're in the living room, there's a couch, chair, and TV. It's a place where you feel safe. That's what my stepfather and father wanted. They wanted to feel safe and comfortable. Death would not be easy at all. It was scary. But to help the process that they would be with their loved ones who showed their love. We had to work out between my sister, my mother, and my family how we would each be with them to provide the support to my stepfather and my father. They were still alive and would be until they slowly began to let go of this world. We needed to ensure the process of letting go would feel safe. My stepfather, Bob Stremmel, was diagnosed with liver cancer when approximately 20 days later he took his last breath on March 11, 2001. My father, Daniel Goncz, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And oddly enough, about 21 days later, he took his final breath on April 13, 2008. I feel very honored to be with each of them as they died at home and took their last breath. There's no greater gift to be there supporting them and experiencing them at their final breath. For this reason, it's critically important to share this information with deaf people everywhere, so they know and understand they do have a choice to die at home, with family, with the support, and with dignity.